All right, we're recording.
Cool. So first action item is probably rename the name for the developer community meeting to not have the word community in it, probably. To not confuse it with the community work group meeting. Okay, great. Who is going to do that? Jared, would you take care of it?
I can do it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then, okay, what do you have on the agenda?
So first item I put was updating the contribution guidelines on the website. That was something we had talked about previously. So I don't have a huge update. I am just here to say that I've started working on a patch for that.
Okay.
And so my basic strategy was, as we had discussed before, to split it into two sections, kind of a first-time contribution / beginners contribution section, which will focus on the GitHub workflow, and then a second, like, advanced contribution section, which will focus on the review board workflow for people who want to work on more significant changes.
Okay.
So that's in progress, and my goal is to have a draft ready by our next meeting, and then maybe we could spend 10-15 minutes during the next meeting looking over that, and you guys could provide some feedback that I can implement.
Cool. Great.
Can I give you a word of advice on it? Just having recently tried to onboard a lot of several different developers to Mesos.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I find is, despite as much as you can write, often they'll only read the first few paragraphs. So that means if it's fractured, and I mean, I know we have a newbie guide, I know we have like submitting a patch guide, and all of it is great information, but it really has to be the very first couple sections of the first README you think they'll hit on how to contribute has to divulge the fact that there's all this other information to them, or they'll ignore it and never find it. Like, I mean, heck, it took myself weeks to find the README in the lib process folder. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, this makes so much more sense. Up course, there's a README here that explains it. But it's all the little gems up front. If you can say, like, hey, there is a docs folder that has all the up-to-date documentation. If you're working on different subsystems, take a look at it first. It seems obvious, but it's one of those things that in a sentence in the first couple paragraphs of what somebody will find when they're looking to contribute to Mesos can make a world of difference in how soon they find the relevant documentation.
Okay, so your recommendation is to make sure we hit all of the kind of crucial points that someone needs to know within the first couple paragraphs. Is that right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to expand on them because we have a lot of expansion. We've got a lot of detailed instructions, but sort of maybe even a table of contents, except for if it's in a table of content form, it might also get ignored. But just like hey, thanks for contributing to Mesos. Before we go into how to submit a patch, just be aware of this available documentation to you, that there is a community, and then point to the community section. It's easy to find if you know about it, but if you don't, it's that kind of thing you just want to point them to. So just a bunch of front-loaded pointers is great for somebody to be able to go, oh, I should bookmark this page, go back to it. It'll tell me where to find documentation later. Okay. It can be hard to do right, but it's in my experience, pretty useful.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to help you work on it too. I had to write a bunch of documentation to get the PowerShell guys back in Windows, move it over to GitHub, which was quite an experience, changing their whole dev workflow. I spent weeks writing docs for them. It worked out too, but yeah.
Okay, if I get my patch ready soon enough, I may send it your way, Andrew, before our next meeting, if that's all right.
I would love to see it. Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be great.
Hey, thanks for trying to help out.
Yeah, I'm also thanks guys for moving this to 10:30 on a Monday. This I can make.
Yeah, we figured like morning 8 o'clock or 8:30 was too soon for most of the West Coasters.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinod and Greg, can you do me a favor and try and plug your Jabra speaker into your computer? You guys sound really quiet, and I'm not sure why.
Oh, us?
Yeah.
And, okay. Let's see.
Well, yeah, hopefully it'll just plug and play. Never tried this before.
No power. Do we need power? Oh, no. Is this better?
You might need to change your sound settings too in the bottom left corner.
Bottom.
If you want to switch microphone, job rec, there it is.
That's for the speaker.
Up top, job rec.
Okay. How is this?
Extremely better, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for the session. Okay, so anything else on the contribution guidelines before we talk about the next step? Ben, did you have any other suggestions or opinion on that? I remember you had some before and you were involved in original contribution guidelines as well.
No, I mean, we could have a page that says how you pronounce Mesos, but I'm just teasing because I was hearing Mesos, but people used to email us about that in the past.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I haven't looked at it for a long time actually, but I do remember someone criticizing the fact that it was very long.
Very dense. Yeah.
Criticizing that. But I'm happy to take a look at or help someone work on it.
Cool. So maybe like add Andy, myself, and Ben as reviewers, and then we can try to wrap that up. Hopefully, have that ready by next meeting.
Yeah. Another thing that I had noticed in the current contribution guidelines is that they, that one of the first lines is like, so you've fixed a bug or prepared a patch and you're ready to submit it.
And you are probably not there if you're reading that guideline.
Right. So I think we could also walk people through the act of actually like finding something to work on, or if they are thinking of starting to work on something, what's the correct process to go through?
So that's the submitting patch page. Do we also have a contributing page that's different from submitting a patch page, or was it all included in one page?
I think the only page we have is the submitting a patch currently.
Okay.
I feel like there's probably
that and the newbie guide, which also kind of covers it.
Yeah, I think there's probably two things there.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's probably a couple different levels of contribution that you're going to get. Like if I want to fix some bug in Linux, like I don't really want to have to read all the details of how Linux development works and what process I should follow and all that. Like I probably would hopefully ideally just want to kind of give someone the patch that I use to fix it and kind of have them, deal more with the process. And for us, that's kind of like GitHub PRs maybe.
Yeah. Did you hear my previous proposal to have two workflows, one for GitHub and one for review board? Does that fit what you're saying? Or are you suggesting?
Yeah, that fits. I didn't hear it, but it's come up in the past too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the direction we're going here, Ben. It's we are trying to focus more on the newbies, like the first-time contributors, and try to make it less intimidating and have them just submit something through GitHub, easy peasy. And then once they're getting into more like advanced contributions, that's when we'll try to steer them towards like all the review board and Jira and all that stuff.
And I guess the other thing is just making that clear to everyone, because I do see people who submit a PR where like someone in the community replies that they should go and do this, like create a review request and all this stuff. And
I think we should also make sure to send an email, Greg, once we submit that patch out. We should probably send an email out to our dev and user list, like, hey, we updated our contribution guidelines. Please take a look. And stuff like that. So that serves as a heads up for people lurking on the mailing list. Okay, cool. What's next? So newsletter. Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah, I was hoping Jorg might join this morning. I had been bothering Jorg mercilessly to share his work in progress document with him. Or with me and Jay, because I think he's been swamped with Mesos Con stuff and still hasn't gotten something together. And so I bothered him again at the end of last week, and he told me that he had shared it with me.
Okay.
But then I couldn't find an email.
Okay.
So I'm just still trying to get access to a document of his.
Okay.
And I will hopefully make that happen the next couple of days. It would be great to actually submit something maybe during MesosCon or something. So I'll touch base with York today and see if we can't make that happen.
Are you coming to MesosCon?
No, I won't be there.
Yeah, I think York is unfortunately busy with the MesosCon stuff, so I don't know if we will have time to.
Yeah,
talk with
he'll
him.
be at MesosCon next week, and he's at OSS Summit right now, so he's at a conference.
Yeah, I'll see if Jay and I can't get something out during MesosCon maybe that we could send out to people.
Yeah.
I think that could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be really fancy or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just an update, like a big picture update of what's happening in the project.
Yeah.
Would be cool.
Yes.
And we can probably even have Ben talk about it in his keynote or something.
Yeah. So I'll send you guys an email with an update for that.
Cool.
I was just digging through Google Docs to see if I could find Jorg's thing, but I'm not finding it.
No.
Okay. All right, so I guess what do we have? Town hall. So did we send an email about that to the dev mailing list and user mailing list?
No, so I tried to send an email to the Linux Foundation to propose the topics for the town halls, and apparently I missed the deadline. So it's not the format that I thought it was. York just sent me an email that said that it's like we should seed potential questions in case people don't have questions. So it sounds like it's not an informal meeting. It sounds like it's more of a like panel question and answer situation, which I don't know. That wasn't what it sounded like in the schedule, but I guess it's a different format. So G has a Mesos town hall that he's going to run. And it says, I'm looking at the schedule now. I can send it to you.
So the town halls are not really like a working group meetings kind of thing that we were expecting?
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be like everybody hang out in a room and discuss like around a table, but it sounds a little bit more like it might be a Q&A format. But I have a meeting with York to discuss what the town halls actually are today. So we will find out at, I think 5 p.m. York will tell me what I'm supposed to do for the town halls. And the other thing is he said, oh, do you want to be a contact for the town halls? And I was like, oh yeah, of course I do. But it turns out that they're all in separate rooms. He put me down for the DCOS one. G is running the Mesos one. And there's another one that Johannes is running on Kronos and Marathon, apparently. So they're not the format at all that I thought, and I'm not exactly sure what they are anymore.
So they're more like a high-level component kind of town halls, like one for Mesos, I guess project level. It's not even like component level anymore. Mesos, Marathon, and DCOS.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I mean, we could probably use the Mesos town hall to kind of have more fine-grained tables at the town hall. Like I don't know if it's going to be a stage or something where.
No, I have no idea. I thought it was just going to be a reception because they were like, oh yeah, refreshments provided by Mesosphere, blah, blah, blah. But I have no idea what the room's going to be like. I don't know at all. So I'll find out at 5 today when York tells us about it, I guess.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, so I'll send an email out. Actually, one thing that I should do though is to email the working groups to say like, hey, if you want to go to the Mesos town hall, go and meet your fellow working group members. So I still think we should encourage people to go there to meet their working groups, but I'm not entirely sure that we'll be able to break out in the way that I thought it was.
Okay. Just keep us updated, I guess, once you chat with York.
Yeah, I will.
And then we can probably send an email out to our dev lists.
Yeah,
suggesting people to hang out in the town hall. Cool. Sounds good. What else? Anything else anyone want to? So I guess we set up the Zoom account and everything. Thanks, Judith. Thanks for setting that up. So now we have Apache Mesos Zoom account specifically for Apache Mesos meetings.
Cool. Thanks, Judith.
And all the videos that we are recording for the work groups they're being uploaded to a dedicated work group channel, or is it one Mesos channel, or?
There is a Mesos channel, and each working group has a playlist.
A playlist. Got it. And they're getting automatically, I guess not automatically, but manually.
They're manual. I do it.
Okay.
I don't think there's a way to automate it, but it seems to be working out so far. And I think that G sends people to his playlist. So for the organization working group. So I think that people appreciate the playlists.
Okay. So do we have one for the community as well? Do you have a playlist? Okay.
You find it.
Okay. And do we have any stats on how many people are actually even looking at it or anything like that?
Yes, the Mesos YouTube account gives us information on the views and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have the YouTube credentials, or do we want to maybe share them on? I think M Park started the channel, and so he's an owner of it, but I'm not sure who else has.
Yeah, I think he might have sent that to the private mailing list when he started it. I don't have it on right in front of me. Do you know if YouTube has a concept of a team where you can invite people?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
that would be probably ideal for Ampag to just invite people. He might have already invited some people.
Yeah, I'm already in it. Do you guys? I'm not sure who we really want to have, how many people we want to have administering and uploading and owning the channel, just because I feel like the more people we have own it, the harder it is to determine who you should contact about it.
Yeah. I think the people who are uploading it should probably have access, probably you and maybe Mpark, and maybe Mpark doesn't need access anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if any other PMC members are interested to administrate. We can give them access as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should I email them about that? Or who do I email to see who wants access to it?
I think it's fine for now. I think they can probably come to the community working group and ask. We can, as a community working group, we can own that.
Cool.
Cool. And so we last time also chatted about seeing if you can get a better Slack account, and you're gonna see if you can chat with Kubernetes.
No, I didn't.
Developer Advocate.
No.
Okay.
The 110 launch was just
Yeah. So maybe that's something that you can keep on tracking on your end to see if you can chat with the Developer Advocate on Kubernetes to see what they did, what are the strings they pulled to get a better Slack account.
Yes.
And for me, the biggest thing I think we want is unlimited message history. So right now a bit annoying to use third-party tools to back up, and it doesn't support DM. DMs being backlogged, backup somewhere. And also the fact that we don't have good stats in our free account. I was trying to look at some stats this morning on how we are doing in terms of users and messages and channels. And they don't give that good of a view in our free account. So it would be nice to get those things to kind of keep track on how we are doing in terms of some of the community metrics, at least the Slack usage. Cool. Anything else you want to chat about? Ben, Andy, do you guys have anything that you wanted to chat about, or you're interested in to know about, or?
Not really from me. I'm quite interested in helping out with the getting started documentation. I've been through a lot of it. I'm like, some of this could be easier found.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, any help with the documentation will be much appreciated. So one thing that we were thinking about internally was to do something like a Docathon day, like a doc day, where we get contributors and committers into one place and just hack for a whole day, try to improve documentation as much as we can. I think doing such a day would be good every once in a while because docs are lagging quite a bit with respect to the features that we build. So it would be nice to try to schedule that. So we still haven't figured out the timing and the place for it. But that's something that's on the radar as something that we would like to do sooner than later, I would say.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we should do that.
Are any of you going to be at the Wednesday hackathon before the MESOSCon?
I'll be there, yeah.
Because I lacked on writing docs for the CMake rewrite, so I was going to probably hack on that on Wednesday.
Sweet. Yeah, maybe we can see if during the hackathon people, I think the committers would want to update documentation, like everyone can just improve one page, that would be huge.
Yeah.
And have at least 10 people do it, that would be huge. Maybe we can propose that as an idea at the hackathon, Andy, and see if we have people who want to update. Should mostly be coming from committers, I feel like. They have the most knowledge. But contributors also who have contributed big pieces of features, they of course have a lot more knowledge about that particular bit that they can contribute to, and then someone can review and commit it. That would be great. Cool. That's all I think I had.
Yep, that's all I've got. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a left-hand navigational menu in the documentation. It's a little bit more involved as a hack project.
Something like a Sphinx or Sphinx, or whatever that's called, something like that. Read the docs.
No, just like if you go to read the docs, I think there's some structure there, but it's just based on folders.
Okay.
So it's not smart, right? It doesn't know how we want to structure it. So people can go there, but since most people probably go to the website, it would be nice to when you're in a documentation page to kind of see where you are. It's kind of not a great experience right now.
Yeah, right now it's a flat page.
Yeah.
One page, nice to have some structure. But I think that we should probably do that. We have some structure in the documentation folder itself, right? So that it's kind of automated.
Sure,
yeah.
Instead of doing it on the UI side. So we should think about that. Yeah, that's a good session.
I mean, it's been something that's come up a lot. It's just, I think none of us are really that knowledgeable on the front end side of things. So, but I think if maybe a couple of us, invested some time or scheduled some time to look into this, we could probably figure it out.
Yeah. Do you want to spend some time during the hackathon, Ben, on this?
Yeah. I mean,
hack on something else.
Well, yeah, I don't know yet, but I might have to finish my slides that day.
Yeah, I need to prepare for the tutorial as well, get it ready. But I think we can spend maybe a couple hours, maybe you, me, and Andy.
It's almost like we should do the hackathons the day after or something. At least for me.
But yeah,
like a lot of speakers are still kind of getting ready on that day.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see if we can do something during hackathon. Otherwise, we'll do it as part of the Docathon day, probably.
Is that a different day?
We haven't scheduled that, but that's one I was talking about, where we schedule a day for people to just work on docs and contribute.
We had also talked in the past, I mean, I just remember some quick discussions before about adding versioned documentation.
Mm-hmm.
is there any kind of plan or an idea of how we might implement that?
I think there was some reviews from Tim Anderson, or I forget what his name was, Tim something.
Okay.
And he actually had a patch out to do version documentations.
Okay.
But it never got committed. I think there's the last I remember there were some comments from Housden, and then I don't think Tim actually updated it, or even if he updated it, maybe Housden didn't commit it. So I can touch base with Housden and see what the status of that one.
Okay.
But an action item for me on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe I can also recruit Armand a little bit, because he seems to have picked up a JavaScript linter, which makes me think like maybe he knows a little about front end stuff. Like I just filed that ticket and he picked it up, so I figured maybe he's a little bit interested in the web UI or the website.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Anything else? No? Okay. I guess we can break early. We don't have much else on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question is like, do we have any plan to make some of the web UI improvements we want to make? Like, are we gonna maybe organize some time for people to work on it together, or?
We could do it during a community working group meeting if we wanted to just have like one live hack day of actually working.
Yeah, true.
That worked just fine.
Like, would 1 hour be enough?
I don't think so, but I mean, we'd have to be longer.
Yeah, I mean, we could make it as long as we wanted to make it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I think we probably do have to put some time on people's calendars, and
Yeah, just like docs. Yeah, we also need the web UI to get some love.
Wait, what web UI improvements?
Like just in general, like I don't think it has caught up with features just like docs. Like it's very We've been adding very few things in the web UI that can expose a lot of the new information.
I have a catch-up epic, like catch up the web UI to features, where I was trying to track all that. But yeah, if you do see someone adding features, and just try to remind them to make sure they make the web UI updates for that. I think people are kind of scared of the web UI right now. They don't like, even if it's something very trivial, someone will like be like, "Hey, here, Ben can do this." I'm like, "What the? I'm not like I just do this because we need to do it. I don't really." So I do know quite a bit about how it's structured now. If people want to ever, like, I can help people, but I don't want to kind of keep having to do all this stuff. Right now it's mostly like Housden and me, and
yeah, like you and Housden can still shepherd, right? Like you're saying you don't want to be the one contributing it.
Well, I just don't want to enter a situation where me and Housden are the people who, basically have to make web UI changes for people's features.
Yeah. I think we should make sure when we file like big features, part of the things that we need to add is like changes to documentation and changes to web UI, and make it part of the process for big features, and try to follow that through. Most people just work on features and then they move on to something else before wrapping up some of these things. So we need to make sure when we file like feature epics that's taken care of as well. Yeah, that's a good point.
We could maybe I'll send out a reminder about that catch-up epic to see if people can add any features they can think of.
Yeah.
I guess we never exposed like health checking, for example, on the web UI.
Yeah, we don't for the agents, right?
Or just like, is a task healthy or not?
Right.
Oh, task health. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, makes sense. I think an email would be good. Just kind of remind people. Cool.
Okay.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Well,
the web UI we're talking about, are we talking about the literal web UI, like when you run the Mesos master and it's those HTML files? Oh, okay. So that's on my list to make sure that works automatically with CMake. There's just a variable not quite defined. You can set it with a flag right now and it'll work later, but yeah. Sounds like I should have that done.
Yeah, so this is like building web UI, you mean? Yeah, so this is basically the Mesos dashboard that the master exposes. Cool. Anything else?
Can we just reiterate the action items quickly? I just wanted to write down the one that I was going to do here.
Yeah.
So I was going to send an email just to remind people to help me figure out if there's any features that need to catch up in the web UI, or if there's anything they just want to improve there.
Yeah.
We were gonna schedule some time to look into like a docs day, which may or may not overlap with the time that we'll look into like the left-hand navigation stuff. That might be the same session or not. I don't know.
Yeah. So Ben, do you have access to the work group agendas?
Okay.
Doc?
Let me open that. Sorry.
Yeah. That one we're calling on the action items there. Just let's make sure we have captured everything.
Okay, great.
Developer meeting.
Oh, I see you.
All right, great. I'll have to write stuff down.
Yeah, we also add the thing on my name for the doc day. Do you have edit access, Ben, or no?
No.
Okay. Sweet. Can you comment and send that to me? Like the action items. I usually follow up in my email. Right click and select and right click and comment, and then do add. Okay. Yeah, and then it shows up like assign. Yeah. Same thing with this action item. Great, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I think it also already comes up here.
Cool.
Just, I guess, a quick. I mean, now we're just free balling, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I was just curious, like, one thing that as soon as I think about is, which kind of was one of the reasons I was also thinking about the newsletter thingy when we started talking about that, was if you look at something like LWN, I don't actually know what that stands for, Linux something news.
Yeah.
Like there's like write-ups and just like kind of news updates that are kind of interesting about what's going on. Are we planning to incorporate that into the newsletter, or is the newsletter like, what is the scope of the newsletter right now? Is it?
I think right now the scope is to just highlight what happened since the last newsletter in the project, like the high-level interesting bits.
Gotcha. I guess we can also maybe include like what's coming up, or like some interesting things that are going on.
Yeah. So I think the way that we are approaching it is we are asking like shepherds about things that they're working on or they recently wrapped up that they wanted to be called out. And then we'll call that out in the newsletter to get people an update on what recently happened and what's happening right now, and maybe what's planned in the very near future kind of thing, to get people excited and make it informative for people who don't follow the mailing lists and all that. It's too much noise for a lot of people, right? Yeah, that's the idea. It's Linux Weekly News. That's what it means. Okay.
I just think there's there's some interesting stuff that we kind of already do, but can highlight there. Like, for example, when Ben slides on like future abandonment and like discard semantics and stuff, like it's kind of interesting technical content that we can probably just easily highlight there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't know how deep we are going into specific topics inside the newsletter. I think it's going to be a high level overview, as far as I understand. It's like a paragraph or so, and then it probably can link to a longer format blog post or something that we want to chat about.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, like anything. I mean, we have very few blog posts on websites. So anything that's going to add to it, anything that's going to drive that would be good. Maybe starting off with like highlight reel, and then we'll say people want to write more specific bits that they want people to get excited about.
Okay.
Right. Anything else? Did we capture all action items?
I believe so.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, let's call it a day then. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.
And hopefully we'll get more people with this more West Coast friendly time.
Sweet.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Talk soon.